God, the stage is mine. Hey, how are you doing, everybody? Good afternoon. Glad you could all come out. I'm glad I was here. I was a little under the weather earlier on, but I'm feeling a lot better now, so feel free if you have any questions. I don't know if you... I might start with my life story. I started out when I was very, very young, and now I'm very, very old. No, so I don't quite know how to start in that. I guess I don't really go to a lot of Transformers conventions. I think I've been to about 4 or 5 in my life, but get some more. But I had to come out to this one because it's in my home country, and I love to see my countrymen every once in a while. So how many people are from Southampton here? Maybe one? Ah, we got our Southampton people there, yeah. Well, that's where I'm from, the Shirley High Street. It was where... Yeah, we live, we rock. Right. I came up here with my friend Mike. We like to hang about the Transformers conventions. We like it a lot. Anyway, so I guess what I can say is... who's got a question? I know, blue shirt, his arm came out of his socket there. All right, what's your question? Oh, we'll need a microphone.
Testing.
Does that work?
Yeah, I think it works fine. Right, my question to you is this. Before you started playing Primal and Prime, did you sort of got the idea of the first version of it from Peter Cullen's material? But did it inspire you?
From Peter Cullen?
Yeah.
Well, in a way, it sort of did, but funnily enough, I used to do all the commercials, the television commercials for Mattel, for Transformers, and you remember all these Transformers Generation 2 batteries sold separately. You know, I used to do all those commercials. And then when someone said to me, oh, you're going to be reading for Transformers, well, I had to look at the G1 cartoons. And I sort of liked them because they were really affected. All the voices had all the, with all the, whatever they do to the voices electronically. And I listened to Pete and I thought, you know, that's a great character. I think I'll try that. But when they came up with a new iteration of Transformers with the Beast Machines and Primal, because Primal was more of an organic character, they came out of animals rather than machines, I wanted to give him a bit more warmth and a bit more humanity. And so came up with this voice for Optimus Primal. And it was quite different from Generation 1. And I thought it worked. Did it work? Did you like it? Yeah, I just wanted to make him a more, a more dimensional character, that's all. Thank you. And what was great about it is I got to work with Ian Corlett and, of course, Scott McNeil, who I've been working with for over 20 years, and Richard Newman and Venus Terzo. Love that girl. Do any of you know who Venus Terzo is? Huh? The Black Arachnia? Well, I'll tell you what. Black Arachnia looks kind of hot, but Venus Terzo is really hot. And it was very funny in the cartoon studio with a bunch of us young fellas looking at this absolutely drop-dead gorgeous young gal doing Black Arachnia, and we just went, oh my God, how do we ever get any work done? I don't know, but we had a really good time of it. Question. Yes, way in the back there.
All right, did you have a look at the script and see how many voices Scott McNeil was doing and just going, damn it, stop taking all the jobs?
Yes, I did that, but you know, you gotta feel sorry for Scott McNeil because he works so hard, and whenever a voice audition would come up, Scott would go, pick me, pick me. No. No, the thing with Scott is he's so, he has so many different voices inside him and such a large range. I mean, who else they could have got, you know? For Dinobot. And the only... Hello. Okay. The only voice that Scott does that I can't do really good is Waspinator. And I don't know how he does it. He's like an alien from another planet. He does Waspinator, and he's like an alien from another planet. I don't know how he does that voice. I've tried, but I just can't. But no, I never really thought that much because, hey, one voice, one job. We were doing series. Literally every day we were recording a cartoon or a different cartoon every day, 7 days a week. And I don't know if you recall all of them: King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, and Littlest Pet Shop, Extreme Dinosaurs, Sonic the Hedgehog, He-Man. Well, I remember those. Well, we were recording them every day. And it got to be to the point where you had to carry a little tape deck in your pocket to remember which voices were yours. So it was a lot of fun. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, where?
Over.
All right.
Obviously, sort of Wikipedia, Wikilinks with Transformers, you've done Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime and whatnot, and even though they had Peter Cullen come back and do it for the films, have you ever been interested in auditioning for any of the other characters at all in the Michael Bay films at all?
In the Michael Bay film? No.
Oh,
I only wanted to play Optimus, and well, I guess you all know I sent Michael Bay a letter, and Don Murphy, who was doing the first one, I think, I sent him a letter. Needless to say, it didn't go over well, because he thought I was just some weird fan calling up, and then I got really mad at him because I was just asking for an opportunity. But of course, because I don't live in America, I live in Canada. They went for the original G1 voice, and he only did it for the one season, and I did all the rest. So I thought, wow, maybe I have a chance at this show. No. Because the fans, I don't know who they were, but it was about 50-50 divided between Peter Cullen and myself, and they went for Peter Cullen because he was the very first one. And I got no hard feelings. No, I have no hard feelings at all about it. Most of my work that I do is on camera, so I do a lot of live action work and a lot of cartoon work as well, so I mean, it all comes out in the wash. I don't really have a romantic attachment to a lot of things, because basically that's what you do for a living, you know. I mean, you guys, you love it, and I love it as well. I mean, I collect all the toys. I have all the iterations at home and all the box sets and so on and so forth. I just find it's wonderful. I'm not going to eat myself up about Michael Bay and his stupid movie. Who saw number 2? What bites? Number 2. I was really upset about that. I thought, you know, there's so much you could do with that Transformers movie, and what do? Explosions and fights that made no sense, no story, and I couldn't hear the voices of the characters. But I'm not bitter. No, seriously, I'm not bitter. That's just my only criticism is I couldn't hear the voices, and there was too much fighting and explosions with no real story. So, Michael Bay, eat that. Anyway, next question. Yes, sir. Microphone. Where's the microphone? We got right here. Yes, Simon.
A lot of people have got fairly mixed feelings towards Beast Machines, but what do you actually think about it?
Mixed feelings towards Beast Machines?
Some people love the show, some people really can't stand it, but what do you actually think about it as a series?
For me, I think that Beast Wars was the best iteration of all the Transformers. You know, some people may dislike it, but The thing about that show that I liked, it was iconic. It was one of the first CGI computer-generated image cartoons on television, and they made tremendous technical advances, and it was all by a couple of Brits from up here in Geordieland, Newcastle, who pioneered that software imaging. I don't know if you ever see the video of Money for Nothing and the Chicks Are Free. Dire Straits, remember Dire Straits? And there was that little animated, very simple animated cartoon, Money for Nothing and the Chicks Are Free. Well, the guys who did that video, that Dire Straits video, are the same guys who created Beast Wars and created that company, Mainframe. So it's quite an iconic show, and I was very, very happy with it. And for those of you who didn't like it, well, you're lost.
Garry.
Yes. Where are you?
Garry, it was more sort of what you thought about Beast Machines, not sort of Beast Wars. It's Beast Machines that people are more split on.
Oh, I'm seeing. Well, okay. Season 3. Was it season 3 or season 4? I think it's season 3. Season 4, where everybody's snapping at each other and they're all whining and nothing happens, and Optimus Primal spends most of his time gazing at his navel, going, "The keys to the future lie buried in the past," and things like that. I actually was really annoyed at that season as well, because I wanted us to be more heroic and have a bit more action in it. We started to get more introspective, and we were sort of losing our audience, and I didn't like that. So there you go. And I agree with you. I agree with you on season 3. I wasn't too happy with it either. Or season 4, I mean. Wasn't too happy with it either. But it sort of came back after me screaming at the writers for a while and saying, come on, get it together. And they had a good finish. Yes?
What voice work are you doing now?
Voice work I'm in now, I'm doing well, I can announce it. I just finished a video game for Electronic Arts. It's the NFL Sports Interactive, and it's a brand new innovation of Wii, in that it's kind of a football sports exercise game, but you have sensors on your legs and on your arms and on your chest to go with the Wii controller. And if you don't work hard enough, the machine says, "You're not working hard enough. You must work harder." And it's every professional football exercise that you can think of, and every exercise is run by a different player from the National Football League, and I am the coach who tells you you're not working hard enough. And I think I have about, I'm not sure, but I think 10,000 lines in this video. And so I worked 7 or 8 days, 6 hours a day, doing nothing but prompts for it, and it's very, very cool, because it can tell how fast you're running and how fast you're jumping, or how you're jumping, and so on and so forth. When you see it's coming out November 14th, it's pretty cool. Also, I don't know if you guys have heard of Robots. I don't know if Robots has got here yet. It's a great cartoon, actually. It's a CGI cartoon, and they're showing it on YTV in the States and in Canada. Hopefully it'll come out here soon. Also, I can't say anything. I've got another cartoon, another series coming up, but it's a revival of an older cartoon series, similar to Transformers, but I can't tell you what it is, because I've signed a non-disclosure until they make the announcement. Because you have to in order to get the work.
Can we guess?
So, what?
Can we guess?
Yes, you can guess, as long as I don't say anything.
Voltron.
No. Oh! What'd you say?
Voltron.
Oh, he got it. So there you go. So I can't confirm or deny that, but that's what it is. So that's coming up. What else? I got a few. We got a new television series that's called The Killing that will be airing on Fox Network, I think, or AMC Network, and I think it'll air here as well. And they're doing the big push between October and November, and so that got going. And I think someone here saw it at fellow way in the back saw the pilot episode in Las Vegas this year, last month, and apparently it looks pretty good. So got picked up. So that's what I'll be doing next. Anyone? Yes, ma'am.
Hello,
Hello.
there's a voice right there. Oh, sorry, wait 1 second.
Given that you've been Optimus Primal for 2 seasons of Beast Wars, 2 seasons of Beast Machines, and then they brought you back to Prime in the Unicron trilogy,
Right.
were you slightly annoyed they didn't use you for Robots in Disguise? And they gave it to Neil Kaplan instead?
Didn't use me for a role in Robots in Disguise? No, because I was quite busy doing a television series called Cold Squadron and Stargate, so I didn't really have any time, and I never even knew that they were doing Robots in Disguise, because they were doing it in the States. But Neil was very funny. Neil Kaplan, who played my role in that series, was annoyed that he wasn't doing all the rest, and so he was apparently he was dissing me a bit. And a few months ago, I actually met him face to face at a sci-fi convention in Calgary, and I thought, oh, I don't know, if I meet him, am I going to punch him? Am I going to beat him up? And then I met him, and he's a really nice guy, so we had a great time, and now we converse back and forth on Facebook all the time. And now we have one right here.
Out of all the roles that you've performed, which one would you...
Speak up, Lala.
Out of all the roles you've performed, which one would you say was the most challenging?
Of all the roles that I performed, the most challenging role I've ever had to perform? Oh. What's the most challenging role I've ever had to perform? Oh, I'll tell you, the most challenging role, the most difficult role I ever had was a character called Metalhead in G.I. Joe. Because he was just off the map. So, bye-bye, yeah, let's go, oh, rip it up, oh. And you do that for 6 hours a day and you get a little sore. But he was also the most fun because he would go from being like a little tiny kid, Mommy, help me, to, oh, can I blow it up, Cobra Commander? Come on, let me please. I can't stand it when I can't blow things up. And it would just go like that, you know, and it would go back and forth, drive you out of your mind. So that was one of the most difficult things I've ever done. The Fly 2, the movie called The Fly 2, I played the part of Scorby in that, and that was a very difficult role because it was very physically demanding. That you had to hang upside down for hours and get thrown through windows and God knows what all. It was a little tough, but all the rest, I mean, everyone has their own challenges, but I think those two really stick out in my head. Yes. Who? Which?
What do you think of your Japanese voice actors who are voicing your character, Optimus Primal?
Oh. Dozo, komaya desu. Wakarimashita. Yeah, I get a real kick out of it because I hear it. So Megatron. I love the voices that they have in Japan. They have some real good ones. I just finished a show called Eon Kid, or Iron Kid, and it was a Japanese, and my character is a junkyard. I'm the narrator of the show, and also a junkyard owner, a crook. And the guy sounds like me. He just sounds like me. And I love the acting. The only thing I can't get my head around as far as prelay goes is in Japanese it's very polysyllabic. Lots of it goes. So you're gonna go, yes, I like strawberry jam. Sometimes I like raspberry jam, but strawberry jam is very good. It's very hard to follow to match in English. Word fit, that's what I'm talking about, word fit. And it would always go, da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, because of the Japanese rhythms, the way they speak. I had a difficult time, but I still love the characters the way they work. Yes, Granny.
Hi, I was wondering, has there been any news about the revival of Reboot? Will you be in it?
Has there been any news about the revival of Reboot? Well, I don't know. I just don't know. I have talked to Gavin about Reboot being revived, but the problem is there are 3 different companies who control the product. And until they all come together and say, yes, we want this project to be revived, we're sort of stuck in limbo. That's why you've never seen a DVD box set release for Reboot, is because of the legal ramifications, because there's 3 owners of the company who can't come to grips with who gets what, where, and when. So Gavin, and Ian, who created the show, the writers, all of the original cast, all of us are there. We're sitting here, the scripts are written, everything's done. We're ready to do the show. We've been warned of it numerous times, but so far no one is giving us a firm record date. So that's all I can tell you. It's in the works, we just don't know when it's going to be recorded. Yes, we got one here and one here. Where's that microphone fella? One here, one here. This one. This one, this one. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Do you have any advice for people who are getting into voice acting?
Advice for voice actors. Oh my God, that's an hour. No, I'm not going to be giving you any pithy, quick advice. I can be real funny and say, yeah, just go and get a tape recorder and make funny voices. But it's more than that. Really, honestly, if you want to pursue a career as a voice actor, pursue the acting part of it rather than the voice. Because we all have voices. Every one of us has a voice. But we got to, you have to work on the acting chops. And the acting chops is that anybody can do a funny voice. Like, well, I can do a funny voice, that's no problem. Yeah, but can you do Shakespeare and make it believable in that funny voice? You know. It's like with someone like Rounder. So taken as we are, so one with care. Find we a furtive peace to pant and breathe new broils and strands of far remote. You know what I'm saying. So you've got to get your chops together. Because if you actually look, thank you so much. But if you actually look, there's an exercise I do that every one of us has 12 voices. It's all about where you place your voice. You can put your voice at the top of your head, gives you a nice light voice, take it through your eyes, you never change the tone of your voice, you just keep it the same, put it into your nose, and all of a sudden it's nasal. Take that voice and take it from your nose into the front of your mouth, and you get a sort of a strange, tight, uptight kind of an individual. Put it into the middle of your mouth, and it gets even a tiny bit Dutch. Take it to the back of your throat, down into your chest, and into your chest, and get it nice and big and warm. Add a bit of gravel to it. Take it up here into your throat. Get it a little bit higher in your throat, into the middle of your mouth, into the front of your teeth, into your nose, and then your eyes and the top of your head. And stick your jaw out, make some kind of an impediment of some sort, or go off rhythm or stutter or speak really fast and then really slow. It's all about rhythm and placement. So as long as you can get the rhythm and placement of all these voices, now what you have to do is make a character, create a character out of those placements. And you create the character by having a really solid understanding of what the script is, what the script is saying, and what you're doing in the script. Do you understand? And then once you've got the acting chops down, you throw the voice in there, and what do? You look at a cartoon character, or any cartoon character, and you look at the physicality of that character. You know, is it tall and thin and weedy, or is it big and wide and fat? There's, you know, they all have to adhere to certain physical laws, right? And it's very important that when you're looking at these characters, that you find how they laugh. Once you find how they laugh, you can usually find the character. I'm keeping somebody up. But there you go. Yeah, next question, yeah.
How did you get into voice acting?
How did I get into voice acting? I got kicked out of class. No, we used to do funny things, and when I was in high school, they have a tannoy, you know, the high school tannoy, and the principal headmaster come up and make announcements. And some of us who were voice guys used to sneak into the principal's office and get on the tannoy and say, now, how'd it go? Now everybody, it's time for lunch and we're going 15 minutes early today because, oh, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, everybody left school 15 minutes before lunch early and created chaos in the school. And we got caught mimicking the headmaster's voice and got kicked out. Only for 2 days, but we still got kicked out. And I thought, well, we could have something here. And where I got started in cartoons, my very first cartoon that I ever did was a thing called Hiawatha. And it was for Kenner Classics, and I think if you look on eBay, you can actually find it. And I played about 5 characters on the show. And I had auditioned for it in Ottawa and did it. People liked it. And then after that, it just sort of grew into other things, the Care Bears and G.I. Joe and Knights of Justice and Kissy Fur and Camp Candy. Just, that's basically how I got into it. I've always been a voice guy. As far as acting at school went, I always excelled in that area because I just love the sound of my own voice. I don't know. So that's how I got started. Yes?
All the episodes in Beast Wars, what was your favourite?
Battle for what? Where Primal becomes a real ape. Battle for. Come on, you guys! You know every episode. Battle for what? Well, that's the episode. Is where Primal goes primal. Something to do with the side effect of the huh? That's the one. Huh? I can't hear you. Call of the Wild. Somebody came up with it. That was the one I really liked. And that was a very challenging one to do as well. Yes?
Garry,
oh.
What are your memories of working on Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Well, David Hasselhoff, I gotta tell you, is a character. Consummate professional on stage, wonderful guy. Him and I used to go out drinking every night, but I'm not a drinker, so, but he was just sort of drying out, so he wasn't drinking very much either. But we hung out for like a week or two because he wanted to get that feeling, you know, that we were buddies, and so he's very method, so we just hung out, and of course he got swamped everywhere we went, going to bars and stuff, so people would come and take a picture with him, and he would say, okay, I'll take a picture with you, but you can't touch me, and you can't sit on me, you can stay right here, that far away, and then we'll take the photo. It'll look like you're sitting on me, but you're not. And so I went, that is so weird. And I said, how did you, what is the deal with that? And he says, 14 lawsuits. 14 lawsuits. But Nick Fury itself was really fun because it was a mixture of CGI and real life. And one of your guys here, Neil, come on, what's his name? The English actor who does the Pantos, and he was also in Nick Fury as the young English officer. He lives here in London. He's an actor. Neil Roberts. You guys don't know Neil Roberts, do you? Well, Neil Roberts does all the audiobooks for Stargate, and he was also in Nick Fury. He was the young British Keener officer in that movie, and he was a delight to work with. Most of them were really fun. I just had a a great time with it. And Rod Hardy, the guy who directed it, was an Australian. And since Nick Fury, I've hung out with Rod Hardy for probably the last 10 years. But there were some crisis moments. We had a time where we had this huge scene in the control room where they're trying to stop the bad guys from doing something. I said, yes, we stopped them, we stopped them. But they were trying to destroy the city with some kind of toxic, I don't know, disease. And one of the actresses, she had a line at the end of the scene. And we'd be working, rushing, all the things going, the lights flashing, and get to her line and she'd go, and she'd flub it. And so we had to go back again, and then we'd do it again, and then she'd flub it. And the director lost his mind, and he said, what the hell are you doing? We're killing ourselves here. What's the matter with you? You had weeks to learn this. And she goes, she started crying, I can't work under this pressure. And she went storming off the set. And I tell you, I have never ever seen anybody do that. And it was quite shocking, but you know, it looks really funny when you watch it in a movie. I can't work under this pressure. But when you're working for $10,000 a minute or $5,000 a minute or whatever it is, it's a big deal. So that was the only real crisis we had on the stage, on the set. But for the most part, great fun. Hasselhoff, what a hoot. Yes. Yes?
Unicron trilogy, though, most of us didn't like it, some of us did. What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on the Unicron trilogy?
Yeah.
Well, I liked it. You gotta understand, guys, that I've done thousands of these shows, and every one of them has a certain focal point and things that I remember about it. And the one thing I remember about the Unicron trilogy was that it was long days sitting in the studio by myself, going beep, 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 and speaking. Speaking. So I really didn't have too many memories of the stories themselves because I was concentrating on making the words all fit. You know, this thing called word fit. Trying to make all the words fit. So I was concentrating so much on the words I forgot about the story. And that's why I don't like doing ADR for that reason. ADR is automated dialogue replacement. And I never get any grasp of the story because all I'm doing is my lines, you see? So there you go. So that's my thoughts on that. Not much.
If Optimus Primal met Optimus Prime, what would he actually say to him?
If Optimus Primal met Optimus Prime, what would he say? Is that a spare tire in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me? I think that's what he'd say. Fancy meeting you here. What dimension are you from? Yes, sir.
What was it like working opposite David Kay for so long?
David Kay? I really like David Kay. David Kay and I go back many years, over 25 years. And I can tell you one of my first meetings with David Kay was he was working at a radio station. And he's the guy who goes, Shay 101.5 FM. More hits, more often, less talk, more rock. You know, he's one of those guys. And we were next door neighbors in this apartment complex. And he said, can you listen to my demo? And I said, sure. And I came over and listened to the demo, and I said, wow, that's a great demo. Well done. Are you gonna put it out? He goes, yeah, I am. I'm gonna try and do this cartoon thing. This is cool. So he did. And we ended up working together, like on Transformers, on G.I. Joe, on Knights of Justice. We started working on all these different shows. And then we've traveled together. We're over in New York a few times, in Chicago, and down in Louisiana and that. And he's just a great guy. But it's so funny because Always carries around his little satellite box and his portable recording studio because he does all the voices for ESPN or one of those sports stations. So any time of day, any day, he'll be called upon and he go, oh, excuse me, go find a quiet room and go, hi, this is ESPN today. And you have to do that every single day. So, but just a really delightful guy. Bit of a kink, but delightful.
Voice actors and voice acting and acting, who are you inspired by in other films? Like which actors inspire you to do your roles as voice acting and acting yourself?
The ones who inspired me? Yeah, well, my biggest inspiration was Alec Guinness. Loved Alec Guinness. Loved Robert Mitchum because he had the best voice. I just loved his voice. Loved De Niro. Loved Maggie Smith. Used to slay me because she could turn a phrase so easily. I don't know. I mean, there's lots. One of my biggest inspirations for voices was Mel Blanc and Dawes Butler because they were so good. When I found out one guy did all those voices on the Bugs Bunny cartoons and on Huckleberry Hound and Quick Draw McGraw, I was just like blown away. And Dawes was the guy who, well, I'm thinning Bubba Louie, hey! Remember that guy from Quick Draw McGraw? Well, you never saw Quick Draw McGraw. See, I'm showing my age again. Not Quick Draw McGraw?
Yeah.
Oh, come on! And he was the same guy that Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound and the Pink Pussycat. Exit stage left. All those, or Pink Panther, all those guys, and I listened to them, I was just blown away by them. Those are my biggest inspirations.
You've done a lot of on-screen acting.
Oh yeah, there you go.
You've done a lot of on-screen acting and voice acting. What are the similarities and differences, and what do you prefer doing?
Well, the similarities and differences between voice acting and television acting or on-screen acting is that, well, and stage acting for that matter. Voice acting is, it's quite fun. I think it's the purest form of acting there is because you have to have a very clear geographical, emotional, and intellectual intent. You know, because if you don't, I mean, people won't believe you because you have to fill in all the blanks. So, because they record you and then draw around you. But I love it because you can finish recording in 2 or 3 hours and it's done. And you go home and you don't have to get dressed up and put on makeup and memorize lines. But film is, my thing about film is it's very technical. You got to hit the marks and remember everything that you did. And plus give a performance and give the same performance from the beginning of the day, from 14 hours later in the day, you've got to match that performance. And that's very challenging and very difficult. Stage, you got to put it out here like this, and also be believable and seem like it's intimate. So there are different challenges to every one of them, but I think my favorite thing to do is work on movies. Yeah. Wait.
Hi, I have a non-Transformers related question, sorry.
Okay.
Do you remember a show in the 80s called Dino Riders?
Dino Riders?
Yeah.
Dino Riders. I remember something like that.
It was dinosaurs with laser guns on them.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Did you voice act on that show?
The only voice I did was it Dino Riders? I don't know if it was Dino Riders. I did, not Tyrannosaurus Rex. It was something like that.
T-Bone.
Huh?
T-Bone.
T-Bone? Is that what it was?
It might be.
I can't remember, but I remember doing 2 dinosaur series.
Okay, I just wanted to know really, and thank you, because that's like my childhood. So yeah, thanks.
Well, you're welcome. It was, it's lovely. No, it's amazing how many people watch all these shows. Yes, sir.
This is a non-Transformers related question, but do you remember doing the 2002 version of He-Man?
2002 version of He-Man? Yes. I was too old to play He-Man.
So
I played Man-at-Arms.
When you were doing that show, Who do you think was the better bad guy, Skeletor or Megatron?
Skeletor or Megatron? Well, I like Skeletor because Skeletor was very comedic and very, very funny. And his sidekicks, which were myself and Scott and Michael Dobson, were also quite funny as well. No, I think Skeletor had a lot more dimension than Megatron. But yeah, it was fun. Enjoyed it. Yes. How much time we got? I have no idea either. Who has the question? Come on then. Yes, way in the back. Jumping up.
Obviously, the Transformers career started with Beast Wars. When you got in, when you were doing the voices, did you realise that kind of the following was as big as it was, or was that something that you kind of learned over time?
Short answer, no. Honestly, long answer, I had no idea. All I remember is that I used to do the commercials, and that was no big thing. I didn't think anything of it. But when I did the Transformers, this whole aspect of the cartoon world was completely new to me. I'd never heard anything about it. And when I got the voice of Optimus, I just went, oh, great, another show. Great, thanks. Didn't think of it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, you do what? Yeah, I did this character named Optimus on this cartoon. No way. And I said, yeah. And well, that's amazing! And I said, man, you're 35. Come on. No, man. Transformers changed my life. It made me a better person. I went, really? And I said, yeah. It started when it started. You know, I get the letters and people on the emails and now lately on the Facebook. It's really affected them, and I'm going, how? I mean, just because I guess what it is that the heroes that are in cartoons, the thing I like about heroes in cartoons is that they're heroes. They're real heroes. I mean, they're not, they're honest, they have integrity, they have courage, they have all these things and compassion. And that's what I think in the world today, not to get onto my preach now, but this is my big thing. In the world today, we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough honor and compassion. We don't have enough bravery and all the things the qualities that make heroes are heroes. And there are a lot of people who I've seen here and other places who are heroes in their own right because they're the challenges that they endure every day. And if we see more of that, the better the world's going to be. So I think that when people watch these things and they see these characters, there's something that's really atavistic and really you identify with and want to aspire to be that kind of individual. And I think that's a great thing. It's an archetypal thing, and I quite enjoy it. And great to have you guys here. It's really tremendous to see you all. So that's my thing. So I didn't think it was a big deal. Now I really think it's a big deal.
We've only got 2 more questions left.
2 more questions!
So here's the second last question. If you were given another chance to voice act in Transformers, would you say yes?
Oh, of course. I love that. Love the show.
This is the last one.
Next one.
This is just a request. I remember one time David Kay basically said his phrase, excellent. I was thinking, would that same thing happen if you said Optimus Primal maximize?
Optimus Primal, maximize! There's one last question here, and then we'll let it go.
How would Optimus Primal start a fight with movie Optimus Prime?
How would he start the fight?
How would he start a fight?
It's wow, man. Don't get me started. I'm telling you, man, that truck thing is kind of gay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Garry
Don't forget to come and get my prints. I'm supporting a young starving actress, so sometime today and tomorrow I'll be selling some limited edition prints over there on my table. By all means, stop by. They're not very expensive, and they go to a good cause. Thanks a lot.
Give it up for Garry Chalk.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the like button and leave us a comment below. Also, spare a moment to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, and all your social media pages. To get updates on all of our latest videos delivered straight to your inbox, subscribe now using the link on the screen.